Okay, so this is an example of a concept teaching instructional model. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Underneath your chair, underneath 4 of the chairs, there's a little packet of some pictures. Pull out the packet, gather around with your group, and look at those pictures. And this is what I want you to do. Who's got the packet over there?
Is that over there?
Yeah, sit on the chair.
Okay.
Kumakain
So, now listen, gather together, because what I want you to do is, as a group, I want you to look at pictures 1 and 2. They're labeled. You find picture 1 and 2? Okay? And compare those 2 pictures with pictures 3 and 4. Can you compare those 2 pictures? Okay, now what I want you to tell me is, what is one thing that those sets of pictures have in common, and one thing that is different about those sets of pictures?
So where's the people who do this?
Okay? So you have something that's the same and something that's different between picture 1 and 2 and picture 3 and 4. All right? Now I want you to combine picture 1, 2, 3, and 4 and compare those to picture 5 and 6. Okay? And tell me one way that they're similar and one way they're different. Picture 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the same about those 4 pictures and picture 5 and 6?
They're all surrounded by water.
So what's different?
The difference is the shape. You see my nanas?
These are like this.
Got it? Okay. I need one volunteer from each group. Please come up and write on the board over here. What is the one thing you found similar, one thing you found different, one thing you found similar, one thing you found different? There you go. Grab a marker. Come on.
One thing similar, one thing different.
Saka pila man.
For picture 1 and 2 compared with 3 and 4, what's similar about those?
Go, Marshall.
And picture 1, 2, 3, 4 as a group, what's similar about those and picture 5 and 6? What is it?
Okay, I'll go. You want to go down?
I see a rainbow.
I'll go.
Okay, keep going. Okay, time's up. You got like 7 minutes before you guys leave. So we can't keep doing this anticipatory set,
Oh, we leave it.
but it was fun while it lasted. Go sit down, you guys. Okay, go sit down. So what is one way that they're similar? One way they're similar is their islands, right? From what you could tell, they're all surrounded by water, right?
I see.
And what else?
Surrounded by
Beach.
water.
What's different between them?
Shape, size.
Shape and size?
Tree.
Flat or mountain?
Flat.
2 layers of.
Okay. What about 5 and 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4? What's same or different about those?
They're bigger.
They're all islands.
They're like taken probably, for me, I would say they're taken farther.
The way the picture was taken? Okay. All right. Well, what we're gonna talk, has anybody any of you know what those kind of circle-like islands that are flat are called? They're called an atoll. Okay? And so what the outcomes of this lesson are is that you will be able to distinguish between an atoll island and a volcanic island. All right? And explain why atolls are atolls, because they have critical attributes and non-critical attributes. So, according to the pictures that we had, the similarities, we see ones that have water in the middle, that's not water in the middle. Here's one that has some water right here. This one doesn't, does. Okay? So, water surrounding the island, is that a critical attribute or a non-critical attribute? A what?
Critical.
So every island that has water surrounding it is an atoll island?
No.
No. So water surrounding land means island, doesn't mean atoll island, right? So that's a non-critical attribute. What about the flatness of it? I mean, this one's obviously no mountain. This one has mountains, no mountains, rock, no mountains, mountain.
Non-critical.
Is that a critical attribute of an atoll or non-critical? So, if an island is surrounded by water, but it's flat, does that mean it's an atoll?
No.
Okay. One critical attribute of an atoll is that it's made out of coral. Okay, it's coral. It's not volcanic rock. So here's some critical attributes and non-critical attributes. All right. It's an island. So one thing about an atoll is it does have to be surrounded by water, but it has to be made of coral. Right? It encircles a lagoon. This is called a lagoon. Okay? And this is called a lagoon. This is called a lagoon. Non-critical attributes are beaches. Right? I mean, atolls have beaches, but just because an island has a beach doesn't mean it's an atoll. Right? So these would be non-critical attributes. Here's a critical attribute. Atolls have to be found in warm water because they're made out of coral and they can't grow in cold water. So you will only find an atoll in a tropic or subtropical climate. So that's a critical attribute. And it's around, and an island that's around a lagoon, a coral that's around a lagoon, that lagoon has to have had a volcano in the middle that has now disappeared. Right? So, if you look at this, is this surrounding a volcano that's disappeared?
No.
No. So this is not an atoll. Right? Is this? It is. There used to be a volcano there, according to geologists. But it's gone. It's sunk. We wrote it away. All right? Now, I've actually been here before. We lived here for 2 years. This is Kitty And supposedly there was a volcano out there. All atolls used to have volcanoes. Okay? So, here's some examples. Okay? Yes, yes.
It's Hong Kong.
Is this yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
No. Yes.
Yes.
No. This one's no because the volcano.
No.
Okay.
No.
So, if we were going to keep going with this lesson, I would have you get into groups, and with some construction paper, I would like you to make an atoll island. Blue and light blue for the ocean, green and brown for the land. Okay? And you can make the atoll and label the critical and non-critical attributes. The test for attainment would be a little quiz that you're going to take in a group. So I'm going to show you 5 pictures, and you say yes or no if it's an atoll. And then I'm going to show you 5 more, and you tell me what the names of the islands are that are atolls. Okay, ready?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Which one of these are atolls?
Kiribati.
Tuvalu. Wallis.
No.
Is this an atoll?
No.
No. Because there's something in the middle, a big piece of land in the middle, right? And technically, this piece of land in the middle is called a fringing reef. Some people would call it an atoll, but scientifically, it's a fringing reef, not an atoll. And another critical or non-critical attribute is the fact that it's either submerged or covered with water. Some atolls are under the water a little bit. When it's low tide, then it's above water. When it's high tide, it's underwater. So people can't live on it. But places like Kiribati, never underwater. Okay? So that would be, and then what I would do is pass out some little things that we can, I would pass out a 3x5 card that has one of these questions on it, and we would take turns talking about these questions. When did you say, oh yeah, I can see that? What happened? All right? And then the closure is what we did before. So that's basically how you teach the concept teaching lesson. Follow the lesson plan template that's on Canvas. Follow the headings. Just do something like that. Now, I went through that really fast, but it took 10 minutes. Okay? So if I would have slowed down, then we should have had 30 minutes on that. Then you really know what an atoll was, especially if you could make one with instruction paper, right?
Is this micro teaching on Tuesday?
Yes.
Oh.
So micro teaching on Tuesday and Thursday on this